Hi everyone and welcome. It's really great having you here today. What am I doing there in that food processor? Well, I'm chopping up some of my 100% coconut oil laundry soap that I made in a previous video, and I'll link that there in the description, and also at the top of this video you'll see an eye. If you click that, you'll also see a link to that video. And what I'm making today is a stain pre-treatment stick. Basically what this is for is when you're not near the laundry and you get one of those stains, either coffee or lipstick or, oh my goodness, maybe even some blood or something, so that you can immediately treat it before you can get it to the laundry. And that's what this will allow you to do. So I'm basically just chopping this up into a very fine powder, and then I'll be adding some additional ingredients to it. Now, when I made this soap, I added borax to it when I made the bar soap, as you see in the video, the previous video. But I will be adding additional borax here, along with some washing soda to increase the cleaning abilities and the enzyme eating properties. And I'll also be adding some vinegar at the end, or not really at the end, but once I start cooking this down a bit. I don't add the vinegar up front because it would react with the soda and give a bit of fizz that we don't need here. And keep in mind, this is washing soda, not baking soda. They are different. And I will link some information on that in the description as well, so if you need some clarification on those properties. And probably the most important aspect of this is the mixing, making sure that you have it thoroughly mixed, because you want, every time you use it, you want some of the soap, right, to give a bit of that great cleansing and sudsing action, some of the soda, some of the borax, and the vinegar that's going to be added later in every time you use it, because all of these things working together will help you to do away with those awful stains. And I'm just using a crock pot. You could use any kind of you could do this on the stove top, you could do this on a hot plate, whatever works for you. That's the most important thing, is that this is something that's easy for you to do. And you could do this in the microwave, though it might get a little stinky, but surely you could do that. And more than anything is waiting for it to come together, making sure that it is fully combined and somewhat melted before we move on and then put it into our sticks. Now, you could use plastic used deodorant containers you have at home. I'm using these cardboard push-up types, which I will say that probably aren't the ideal solution, but I had these on hand. They're just a little trickier, to push up, but they work just fine and they're eco-friendly. But you use whatever you have and can use. There are just a lot of different methods you could use for something like this. And you could actually form these just into solid bars yourself, press them into a mold, and use them that way too. So your options are kind of unlimited when it comes to something like this. Now, one of the things that I will say is that this is for pre-treatment. Now, the way I show it being done in this video here, I show just using it and then immediately I rinsed it in some water. You could, if you rub this on and just throw it into your laundry, and then the next time when you do your laundry, that would be fine. You don't have to wash it right away. I was just doing it for this example because we are limited a bit here on what we can show in time, right? But basically all you're doing is these sort of things have been around a long time. You may remember Well, when I was younger, there used to be a product on TV. I haven't seen them in years, but it was called Shout, and they would say, "Shout it out." And it was made for rubbing on ring around the collar or rubbing on different types of stains. And then you would just put that back in your hamper. And then when you did your laundry and washed, it would wash the whatever it was out because the product had bound itself to the stain. And this kind of works along those lines. Now, I've used something similar to this myself quite successfully, sometimes doing a better job than others. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it will always 100% get out everything. There are certain stains, if you let like a really dark wine or blood stay in a fabric for an extended amount of time before you treat it with something, you're not going to have the same success that you might have otherwise if you get to it right away or rinse it. Because as with any stain, what I suggest is that you add a little water to it first before you add this or any other product, because it helps to disperse it better. If you just put it on a somewhat dry stain, it's not real. It's kind of just sit on top. So by adding a bit of water to the fabric where the stain is, and then adding the stick, rubbing it on, you're going to have much better success. So just something to keep in mind. Now, are these sort of things always the best at getting something clean? Again, they are to help minimize stains. And I have found that sometimes it 100% removes stains, and sometimes it just fades them substantially. So now you could add like an oxygen product to this if you wanted to go that route, like those OxyClean products. You could add some of that to this as well. Nothing wrong with that. But I found that just the way it is, it works really pretty well. But those are things that you can take into consideration. You can modify it to your liking. I just used ketchup in this example because that's what I had on hand and it made it easy. But you find what works for you. So I really hope you've enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun putting it together for you. I hope you have a really terrific day and a great weekend ahead. It's always a pleasure talking to you all and having you join me here on the farm. It means a lot to me and Barry and all the animals. We're really glad you're here. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you back real soon. Goodbye.